Well, hello there. I think I'm blurry. Hang on. We'll fix it in a second. Oh, let's make sure everything else is happy first. And that we're ready to rock. There we go. I think we're good there. Let me fix this. And it froze. Cool, cool, cool. Big fan. Let's try that again. There we go. All right. Get some of that as well. Let's do... Let's do that. Okay. Think we're ready to rock. So. Made a couple little tweaks. I forget exactly where. Oops, this is client. We need to be an editor. We'll go this window for now. Some sort of noise outside. Not nearby though. Okay, so we went back to having these guys expanded. It's kind of the best option. I could put the border around the scrolly guy, the single child scroll widget, but that would make this hide and it would go down to the bottom there, which I'm not sure that I love either. So I think we're just going to go with this for now. I think I want my number picker there to be a little smaller. And I also moved description, help text, modifier. I think I want to cut that down just a little bit. Yeah, that's better. I moved that into a row. It's in an expanded all by itself now for other use purposes, right? So we put a size box around here to control it for this form. And that's looking pretty good. So I'm on my screen. There we go. All right, so let's now... I need to get my daily open here real quick. My screenshot. Oh, you know what else I forgot? Need to launch that. So we need to also build... We're skipping property to modify for now. We'll come back to that. Let me do that. Okay. So duration. We need to do a thing for that. That'll still be a number picker, but that's going to be tricky. The duration inside of the effect. pull you over here. This is going to be tied together, right? You're just a duration. How do I want to make that editable? That might be a problem. Because of the way this is stored. Actually, no. That won't be a problem because, well, it's a medium problem. Because it's a duration object. This might require another widget. So it's a duration object, which means that we can change its value on the fly, sort of, so to speak, right? We need to know. Gosh. So first thing we're going to need is a row. We do know that much. And in here, we do need a number picker. This is going to have no value to start with. And you, for now, need to live in an expanded. Nope. Because your parent widget. Ooh. Well, sized box it is. And then let's just do that for now. Wait, why is that not? Render flex show non-zero flex but incoming constraints. What? Let's try that again, shall we? Oh. Is it because you don't have that? No. Why doesn't this work here when it works? Oh, because I put the size box around the wrong place. That. This. That. No child there. That. That. No, in here, not out there. And then ditch one of them. There we go. Okay. Well, this, I don't know what's fresh and what's not. Let's reload you and get it to retrigger. Doesn't. Okay, we fixed you. Perfect. So we have another, shouldn't be in that wide, but that's fine. We'll fix that in a minute here. The we need to know drop downs. Drop downs will be a thing. This is not a stateful widget, correct? It is stateless. I don't think that's gonna matter though. Hopefully. Flutter drop down. Drop down button. Drop down menu. I don't super love that. That drop down menu is what I want. Are you broken? Dirtpad has been struggling lately. Okay. Broken, but it did basically start loading a little bit. So what we need, they've put you in a stateful widget. That might be a problem. Menu entries. How you name label name. So I got to think about how I want to do this. Yeah, that's broken. So in here, if we do a drop down menu, we can do the duration change. Or what if I didn't do that? We can parse you and we can toString you. What if we just did text field? We would need a controller for this, which we can do. We'll call you and then we can say duration. ToString. Controller is duration controller. How does that look? Null. Oh, but it's not, we can't do toString. We actually need to do we need to export you. Because we need to use you here. You can't be null. I think that's going to break on the 1, but that's okay. 1 minute. And then that'll break. So here we need to say if what? The heck was going on there? Oh, we can't do that. Because this is inside of a call. Crap. I guess we would have to do can't do that either. Can do that. And then that. Will that allow me? Okay, it will. So I could be null. That's fine. Okay. But how do we want to wire this up? We could do a listener like we did up here. Oh wait, no, did we end up going with listener? Number field. Yeah, add listener, update value. So and that gets into the strategy we want to take for this entire form. And I think we can make changes to the in-memory copy of this thing anytime we edit a field. The other alternative is that we have to like track a value separately for this. Because here, well, no. Maybe this is okay. Like, we still need it to get set to... So I think we would need to... And then we need to do this for the sake of... For the sake of the... Oh, this is only for stateful. Okay. That might be problematic. I guess we could do... this. And then we need to, then, if we're going to do that, also export this. That. Except... That's final, right? Okay, so we need to go fix that too. Perhaps sooner rather than later. But, and then we could say... Well, that should take care of itself. In theory. And we just do... add a listener. Update duration. Am I not allowed to do that? I would have to do that in the init. But this doesn't have an init state because it's not stateful, which it still might need to be. put you in there. I'm not sure if that's correct or if we should just make this stateful. I don't know the answer. Let's go fix our model. I think these just need to not be final. I think that just kind of fixes everything for us. Because it's not a Flutter widget, it's just a Dart class. So I think... Okay. One contains no durations. So this fires prematurely when the object changes. So let's not do a listener then. We need this guy to be like in like a validation, which would mean this whole thing needs to go, which is going to make things a little bit difficult with the number picker. Maybe. The other thing we can do is skip that. Seems silly to do, though. We've wired up validators before that we passed in. We could do that. That worked well for us. But if we were to put that in, then we could then do like right now we don't really need to validate anything for this. It's our model is marshalling and unmarshalling is smart enough to handle zeros. It omits them or puts them back in, either way. We do want to centralize that behavior a little bit, I think, because right now it's kind of part of the marshal unmarshal logic, but the zero default value is in the widget itself, which is probably not ideal. Probably not ideal. But the we don't necessarily want to default to 0. I guess the answer would be that we probably want to do like we've done here, to where if there's no modifier, or I guess we didn't do it here. These guys, when there's no duration, they just have a little add duration button instead of this empty stuff. So we probably want to do a similar behavior, I think. I think this guy's going to have to end up being stateful, but we'll push that off a little bit, that decision, until we get to the property to modify thing there. I think form is the correct answer for this, for which I need to cheat off of myself. Let's open up the client again. Need you to be small, please. There we go. And I need to remember where we did that. It'd be in character create, I think. Just pull this over here. Not in login. What might have been? Yeah, I don't think so. Character select. Character create. Yeah, submit form. But we did. Yeah, okay. You just call submit form. So we put everything into here, which is fine. So let's yoink this back over here and do the same thing. So we need a form key. That was part of the init stuff, I think. Double check. No, it's just a class property. So we can go, and that can go there. It's fine. We'll just call you form key here as well. Global key form state, like so. Then we come down here and outside of table. Let's see, over here we did it. Yeah, we just wrapped a column, so I think we can still do that. So we'll wrap you in a form. We give you your key. Then we come down here. Put you in there. And then ID doesn't change. Name is a text field. The text field validator here. It has a validator property where we can put our rules. Text field, validator, value. Why do you not? Oh, this is a text form field. which is going to be identical in other ways. So, okay, we're good there still. So here we can do our check. So could we perhaps... We have access to value. It's going to get passed in. That's the only thing we need for now to validate the name control or the name field, I think. And we don't have a submit yet, but that's fine. So we'll have to manually validate the number. Unless we could make you a text form field. Unless there's anything in here we use that doesn't. Yeah, okay, we can do that. And then we can just pass in a validator. And sidestep all of that. Yeah, let's do that. I should break these up a little bit. Hang on one sec. So add the model. We'll say remove final from class variables properties. They must be editable. And then we'll go add that, commit that as change to text form field. So that'll break up those two changes just to keep this isolated here. Okay, and we can soldier on with our validation. Our validator for description is actually going to look the same. We'll do that again. And help text. I think we're just going to do the same thing for now. We could probably remove field, just say description may not be blank. Name may not be blank, that kind of thing. This doesn't have a validator. It can be either one, and that's fine. And same with you. We'll need to wire up validator in here so that you can accept a validator. Hang on one sec. I need to open some windows. I'll be right back. There we go. Hopefully it'll make it a little bit cooler in here. Now it's cooled down outside. Okay. So. We need to add to you an optional Hey, no, I'm doing that wrong. I need to pass... How did I do that before? It's a string returning function. Is it... that? No. Code, please. Login text field. Oh, okay. It is... this... That's the syntax. Validator. That's there if you want. And then this. Is that? No. Form field validator, okay. Is this something like we need to do that? Form field validator string, okay. That's what it needs to be. Wonky syntax, but that's all right. And then in theory, down here, we can just say modifier, number picker, value, validator, value. And here, I don't think we actually care about this right now. Because it's allowed, I guess we could say we could return I don't know if we want to really do a validator for this particular instance. Let's leave it off of this one. So I was thinking about throwing a validator for 0, but we should handle that differently. If it's 0, we should just delete it. Just null it out. Yeah, let's leave you off. We can just handle that, right? Behind the scenes. It doesn't need to be an error message to the user. Is what I'm thinking. Forgot to turn that off. Delicious beverage. Okay, so this we do want to do that. We want to say if it's negative, we probably want to do this. Well, no. Or do we also want to handle that case? How do we do the submit up here? Character create the button submitted form. So we called submit form. Which should run validator. Okay, so we should be okay in here if, as long as we make sure to handle a null correctly. We can say you can't be null. If you're negative, return be negative. And maybe that's the only thing we really care about for this. I think it might be. So that kind of simplifies that widget down. We need to make you look like the others. Let's just copy our decoration stuff down. so that this looks like all of the others. Checkbox. Duration. Put you at the top, I guess. So now you look nice like your friends. We'll handle the null and all that stuff here in a second. Let's just get the rest of these kind of scaffolded in. Let's make you the same width as the one above you. That's much better. We'll do the same exact thing, basically. In fact, we're just going to copy everything up to there for tick time. We need a new controller for you, though. We don't need that right now. Same thing. Oops. We only populate the text if you're not null. Tick time. That. Perfect. That gets us that. Is that actually really 1 second? In both cases? It's not. Something is gone. Oh, you know what? I forgot. I bet. Bet you I messed something up there. Just a copy paste error. That's duration and tick time. Duration should be 60 seconds. Is this an issue of... There we go. 1 minute, 1 second. Was it 1 minute before? Am I losing my mind? I might have an issue with refreshing that. We'll burn that bridge when we get to there. I had another issue last night where the number picker was keeping the old numbers, and I had to just update that text field whenever the widget was updated. This might not be that. This is not a, this is a stateless widget, so it might be something else, but we'll burn that bridge when we get there. Damage per tick needs to essentially be... Oh, do we need to do anything? No, we're good there. Damage per tick and blocks log out. We just need to rock and roll through. Let's copy this for damage per tick. We'll do that. And then blocks log out, we can copy in a checkbox. but this is that. Okay. That should handle the basic stuff here. We need to do this other stuff here too. To clear these guys out. We also want to do our unsaved data notification and all that good stuff. So just thinking about the correct place for validation and things, and how to keep ourselves from shooting ourselves in the foot here. I don't think we want to do anything on the on change in here, but this is mandatory. Actually, because we can come and do this now. Well, yes. Or maybe just leave that empty. We might have to add a different variable for that so that we can validate it and do all that. So that basically we kind of pull the UI state apart. So that the UI state is allowed to drift until you hit save, when it then saves that state to the in-memory stuff. Or yeah, I think so, because we don't have the ability, and it would kind of suck to write this anytime anything gets changed, right? Like, we can listen to a change, but that's going to fire every single time. So if you're in the middle of editing, it'll keep writing to the memory representation of the effect. Which I get is only a problem in these duration fields. You'd have to just say, hey, if it's if it's an error, if it's our error about invalid string, just swallow it. But then I don't think I like that. The other option is to let it drift, and then on a save, You do the changes to the thing in memory, and then you write it. Maybe a form isn't what we want. But then we have to do all our validation logic. I think a form is correct. Just thinking like behavior wise, I'm pretty sure that's what I want. So the on changed here, we would need to pull this apart, which was fine. We could do that. And we have we actually don't even need that. You can just be a bool. Not event effect stacks with self. That wait can be accessed from an initializer. I can do it late though. And then that. Then we switch you to stacks with self, on changed, stacks with self, stacks with other, so we flip the bools as well. There you are. Oops. Like so. So now I can not change them. Do you just get... Do I need to do that? No. Bet you these gotta be stateful. Because otherwise it doesn't know to rebuild them. Checkbox. This is stateless. This is stateful. Example app is stateless, that's why. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so let's do a commit here. I think this is still correct. It's just it's not stateful. So let's go ahead and do this for a... What did I change in number picker? Oh, okay, yeah, let's break that up. Add optional validator to number picker widget, and then the other rough in rest of the fields other than what are you called? Tribute to modify. Why is my internet sucked so bad tonight? I'm all blurry. There it goes. Fixing itself slowly. Okay. So, we need to convert this to stateful, I'm pretty sure. And if I'm wrong... Yeah, this is marked as immutable. Yeah, we've already broken that rule. So we need to fix that up too anyway. If I'm wrong, we'll just roll back and figure out something else. But... extend the stateful widget. We need... this. That, which won't exist yet. Until we do that. That. This comes up here. This comes up here. That stays down here, I'm pretty sure. These guys, I think, also need to come up here. I don't think, though, I think these guys actually... The text editors don't go away. These need to live down here still. These guys change with the state. I think these all just need to be... prefixed, and if not, we can come back and figure it out. widget dot. Okay. Theoretically now, still can't click you. Let's rebuild that just to be sure. Hopefully I'm not just missing something stupid, which is always possible. Why are you for no click? What am I missing? Oh, duh. Because I'm dumb. That's the answer. As usual. Why can't you... Oh. That. So now stacks with self should be clickable. Yes. Perfect. We just need to do this over here as well. Put you in there. Where'd you go? Oop. Get out of that, whatever that was. There we go. Now all of my clicky boys should be clicky, and if I go away and back, oop. Called during build. That ain't good. What have they done up here that I haven't done? That's up there, same as in their example. So that happens either way when we toggle back and forth, and I'm pretty sure it's because we're actually just swapping out this widget. Ooh, that's going to be problematic. Thought I had worked around that, but because it doesn't actually delete and build a new widget, it rebuilds this widget. Because everything else stays the same, it's just the data inside. That's problematic. Do I need to do that? No. That's like a deprecated, unnecessary new. A lot of old examples do it, so I think it maybe used to be needed. Oh, we can do, instead of super key, okay, that's not quite working then. Do I have to do it in here? I do, okay. And then everything happy. Good to know. Just make sure. Interesting. Okay. So because we make it generate a unique key, it regenerates the widget, I think, is what they were trying to say in way, way too many words. Okay. Learn something new. So now that works our... Ooh. Set state. Okay, so... I don't know if we don't need this anymore. That's still errors. This is stateful, though. Why would you... Wonder... So that didn't trigger. That triggers it. That triggers it. It builds whenever we toggle it, which makes sense. From one state to the other. Called during build. I wonder if it's because that doesn't need to be in there anymore. now I don't have any value in there. Why not? You were initialized with a value. Specifically with widget.value. And now you're saying you're not even used. What's going on there? Actually, does this even need to be in here? Update value. Oh, that's right. That's what we were doing that for. Because otherwise, it's problematic. Widget.value. I'm doing something wrong in here. I've done something silly. Certain of it. It's because this is triggering this. I'm pretty sure. Well, maybe not. It's odd that it suddenly started happening as soon as we made you rebuild. I think that still has to go away, though. I don't think we need this guy anymore, because that works around our rebuild shrubs. We still want to dispose. We still want to do that. Does that need to be in a state? It probably does, because we're modifying it. It's because I think in here, whoops. Nothing is ever setting anymore. We probably also need this. Up here? Okay, so that doesn't handle this. Even though it's on did update. But I guess we just need to put this in here. It seems gross, but I think it just needs to happen. Yeah. And then we reload when you click off and on again. It makes sense. I think that's just the way she's got to be. Everything else is more gross. And then that sets it so that we can then increment and decrement if we change that. Okay. Let's commit that guy. Fix set state being called during build. We should also do this. Well, let's do this as 2 also, just for organization. We'll do the first one, the status effects, and we'll say add unique key to status effect edit panel so it rebuilds on change on selected effect change, and then refactor to stateful widget for interactable checkboxes etc. Perfect. That'll take care of that for meow. Tired. I'm gonna go to bed early today. It's been a long day. Okay. So we've got our bools, we've got our editors. While we're here, We'll override the dispose. Okay, there is that. Doesn't override. Oh, I'm in the wrong spot. That's why. We'll write it here. And then I also, my controllers live in state. That's fine. They should live down there. What was I thinking? Pretty sure anyway. That's gonna break everything, but that's fine. We'll fix it. I should probably just like pull effect down in the make like a variable and name it that, but it's fine for now. That would have made this cleaner maybe, but just fix that up. Oh my gosh. And then here we're gonna do name controller dispose. Description controller dispose. Make sure we clean up after ourselves here. Help text controller dispose. Duration controller dispose. And tick time controller dispose. Then super dispose. This can now be const. Okay. And we'll do a quick pull controllers down to state, dispose of them in dispose. I should look into what do we do for a dispose? I don't know if this is a thing we need to worry about or not. Let's see here. Plain Dart class. Let's use another object. Okay. He's dealing with stream stuff. If you're just using plain Dart, you shouldn't worry about this. Just let the garbage collector deal with it. Unlike Flutter Widget, Dart objects don't just randomly get randomly disposed by the GC. I don't think we need to worry about it, is what I'm getting from here. But let's just keep digging for just a second and see if there's anything else. I don't think it's gonna matter for this. Seems like we just mostly need to care about it in Flutter widgets. And because this is just building based on our other stuff, I don't think we gotta worry. Because it's the controller. I guess we could in here, because you're stateful. We might need to dispose of the controller. We'll worry about that later. Right, meow. We need to do... Let's kick the can on this just a little further down the road. We'll do these guys. And their toggle, because that is also something we needed stateful for, I'm pretty sure. So... name is not optional. Modifier is. And I was thinking... about if I care about breaking this out in some way, shape, or form or not. Think about how I want to do that. Those are all fine. Modifier. I think this is fine. I think what we want here, and we have one to test with, yeah. This one will work as our test. What we want to do, I'm pretty sure, is have the size box stay. This, though, we say, if you're null, elevated button, Just empty func here for now. Okay, this isn't actually null though. So in the case of this, where it actually, we put in a number picker, this might get a little bit annoying to do. Do I need the row in here, or could I put the row in here? Children, that, that. That breaks everything. Okay, I was afraid of that. It's because you need to be expanded so that you fit in there. Okay. I guess we put you after the size box. We just do, again, if you're not null, then we do an elevated button again, I think. Otherwise, null. Let's do that one. Placeholder again there. That gives that. And then the on click for here, or the on pressed, what we could do, we need to set state after for sure. Because we set you to null. And then we set state. Which leaves us that. And actually, I kind of like that square bar, or long button. It needs to be a square bar. And then here, let's do, I don't know, just 20. So that our button hangs out a little further. We need to do era style. Which is a button style, which has background color, foreground color, okay. And then border, yes. But we need to do the wonky way, I think, for all of them. How did we do? We were doing some other kind of button. Floating action button. Let's try that really quick, actually, before we go in here. see if we like that any better. Oh, yeah. That's way better. Okay. And we'll do the same thing here. We'll make... And you just have a shape. Right? Shape border. And in here, abstract, okay. This is rounded rectangle border, that's what you are. And then if I give you nothing, then you're square. I don't like that you're bigger than the that guy, though. Do you have a padding? No. I would also like to change your color. Background color. This is the context dot color scheme dot error. No. Error container. Yes. And then your icon color should be name of the context color scheme dot on error container. That'll give us a nice red. But I need to do you have we have this order I want to tweak that button a little bit, but that's going to make me pull this out, I think, so that I can tweak them to all to be the same without repeating everything a bunch of times. But I think this is a really good start to this. I like this more than I thought. It needs to be square. But I was thinking just like a small button, but that's like a happy accident. I kind of like that. And we'll do the on-click to add a modifier. But I'm going to call it here for tonight because I'm super tired. I'm just going to go to bed real soon. But thanks for everybody who came and hung out. We didn't have any chats today, but I did see you guys kind of filtering through. It was great to have you. Happy to co-work along with you, and I'd love to see you again. I do this thing 4 days a week, starting on Friday, ending on Monday. So I'll be back tomorrow, same time, 8 p.m. Central Time, doing it again. I'd love to see you. If not, you guys have yourselves a great week anyway, or